Are you a South Carolina homeowner seeking to reduce your property taxes? Well, if you've been looking for ways to keep a little more of your hard-earned money right there in your pocket, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to discover the secrets of saving potentially thousands of dollars annually with the South Carolina Homestead Exemption, starting today. My goal is to ensure you finish this explainer equipped with absolutely all the necessary knowledge and steps you need to confidently apply.
At its core, this whole program revolves around one very crucial number, and that is $50,000. Basically, this significant tax break is designed to reduce the burden for certain homeowners by excluding the first $50,000 of your home's fair market value from local property taxes.
So, here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. What is the Homestead Exemption? 2. Who actually qualifies? 3. Ownership and residency rules. 4. Gathering your documents. And 5. How and when to apply. All right, let's dive right into Section 1. What is the Homestead Exemption? Passed by the South Carolina General Assembly way back in 1972, this law was designed to provide some major property tax relief. Practically speaking, if your primary residence is valued at, say, $300,000, your property taxes are only calculated on $250,000. It literally just lops $50,000 right off the taxable value of your home. To put that into perspective, let's look at a real-world math example drawn directly from Charleston County. On a $100,000 home, calculating the standard 4% primary residence ratio and a sample millage rate, which is just a fancy term for your local tax rate, gives a total tax of $1,080. But with the exemption, many homeowners see an average savings of around $600 per year. That translates into real, tangible money staying in your pocket year after year. Moving right along to Section 2. Who actually qualifies?
There are actually a few different pathways to qualify here. You only need to meet one of these 4 criteria. Be age 65 or older, be totally and permanently disabled, be legally blind, or be a qualified surviving spouse. And here is a massive detail that a lot of people completely miss. Unlike many other states, South Carolina absolutely does not tie the homestead exemption to income limits.
Now, if you are applying based on a permanent disability, your age actually doesn't matter, but there are specific guidelines. It must be a medically determinable impairment preventing substantial, gainful employment for at least 12 months. Importantly, this has to be officially certified by a state or federal agency or evaluated by the South Carolina Department of Vocational Rehabilitation.
There are also some really wonderful expanded provisions for our heroes. Certain service-connected, permanently disabled veterans, former law enforcement officers, former firefighters, Medal of Honor recipients, or former prisoners of war may even qualify for a full exemption from property taxes on their house and up to 1 acre of land. Surviving spouses in these categories can also often retain this vital benefit just as long as they don't remarry and continue to reside in the house.
All right, on to Section 3, ownership and residency rules.
First off, let's talk about how the state views your property. To qualify, you must hold complete ownership, which is legally known as fee simple title, or a life estate, or be the beneficiary of a trust that holds the title. Furthermore, the home must already be approved for the 4% primary legal residence ratio, as opposed to the 6% ratio applied to second homes or investment properties. Essentially, it has to be your true permanent, everyday home.
Now, pay very close attention to this timeline, because this is where applicants make the absolute most common mistakes. We call it the December 31st rule. Let's use an example straight from Lexington County guidelines. Say you move to South Carolina and get your ID in 2024. You must be a resident for 1 full calendar year, meaning all of January through December of 2025. Because of that, you wouldn't actually qualify for the exemption until the 2026 tax year. You have to have that full calendar year of residency under your belt first.
Let's look at Section 4, gathering your documents. Having the right paperwork prevents annoying delays.
At an absolute minimum, you're going to need your South Carolina driver's license or state ID, and the address on that ID must perfectly match the physical primary residence you are claiming. County offices are also going to require the Social Security numbers or cards for all owners listed on the deed. They cross-reference these numbers with state income tax databases to verify your residency and prevent fraud, so definitely make sure you have those handy.
Depending on exactly how you qualify, you'll also need some secondary documents. For age, a birth certificate or Medicare card works perfectly. For a disability claim, you'll need official agency paperwork, such as a third-party query or TPQI form from the Social Security Administration showing your original award date. For blindness, a signed certification letter from a licensed ophthalmologist is a must, and surviving spouses must bring the death certificate and an updated deed showing the transfer of title.
Just a quick but important note for anyone whose home is held in a trust, you can totally still qualify, but you must present a complete, fully executed trust document to the county. This is necessary to legally prove that you are the primary income beneficiary of the property and that the trust actually holds the title.
And finally, Section 5, How and When to Apply.
Let's highlight another really common mistake. When you go to apply, you need to direct your paperwork to your local county auditor's office. People so often mistakenly go to the county assessor. Try to remember this distinction. The assessor handles the 4% legal residence classification, but the auditor is the one who actually administers the homestead exemption.
The law gives you 3 distinct methods for applying. You can submit your application in person, you can do it by mail with certified copies, or, and this is a highly recommended tip, apply online through secure county web portals. These local portals are fantastic resources that can save you a trip and really streamline the whole shebang.
So Step 1, contact your specific county auditor for their form. Step 2 is absolutely critical. You must file by July 15th of the year following the year you first became eligible. For example, if you turn 65 in 2025, you must file by July 15th, 2026. Once you submit, expect a processing period where your county reviews the paperwork before the tax bill is finalized. Basically, file early to ensure a smooth approval process.
And this brings us to an important reminder. Every county courthouse might have slight variations in their exact intake procedures or online portals. Rules and processes can evolve over time, so always verify these details directly through official South Carolina channels or your specific county auditor's office before you submit.
Before we wrap up, please note this standard but necessary disclaimer. The information in this explainer is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal or financial advice. Always consult with a professional or your local county office for up-to-date guidance tailored to your specific situation.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative question. Could you, or perhaps an older loved one, be leaving hundreds of dollars on the table this year? Now that you know the steps, take just a few minutes today to check your eligibility, gather up those documents, and claim the tax relief you deserve. Thank you so much for joining me to explore the South Carolina homestead exemption.